The hottest thing in gaming right now is without a doubt Battle Royale. And I'm recording this before E3, but I guarantee you that we will get plenty of Battle Royale reveals come E3 because they're just trying to cash in on a trend. That's what they're doing with Call of Duty. I'm not sure if Battlefield will have a Battle Royale mode, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did one as well. And I'm sure countless other developers are going to announce a Battle Royale game of some sorts. But how long will this trend last? Will it last 1 year, 2 year, 5 years? It's hard to say exactly when it's going to die, but I think it's going to die much faster than other trends have in the past, okay? In the late 90s, early 2000s, actually most of the 7th and 6th generations, World War II shooters was the standard, and it lasted for years. How many years do we get constant releases of World War II shooters or games set in World War II? I know right now we have Battlefield 5, which is set in World War II, and last year we had Call of Duty World War II, but compared to the amount of games that we've had that were set in World War II, like in 2008 compared to 2018, you can't compare it. World War II was a huge trend. Another one that I could think of. Rhythm-based games. The Guitar Hero, Rock Band, those games were huge, and people were saying those games were the future. The games lasted a few years before they completely died, and people were saying they're going to make a comeback, they're going to make a comeback, and every time they tried to make a comeback, they have failed because it's just a trend that really doesn't have any room for innovation anymore. And that's exactly what the case is with Battle Royale. It's reached its peak very fast compared to other trends. Okay, the World War II shooter was a trend, but people kept building upon it, and there was still room for innovation. The reason why we're having one or two World War II games every now and then, like Battlefield 5, pop up, is because nostalgia is a huge seller for some people. This game isn't an innovation, Battlefield 5. Battlefield 5 is only out there because trying to sell off of the World War II nostalgia people had back in the day, and also because they ran out of ideas. So it's a win-win for them. But don't think for a second that this game is going to be innovative, that Battlefield 5 is going to innovate in any way, because it being a World War II game automatically disqualifies it from ever having a chance of innovating, because there's nothing that they've done from a narrative perspective or from anything else that's different, that hasn't been done before, because World War II has just been beaten. It's just beaten on a dead horse. The only thing Battlefield 5 is going to be, it's going to be Battlefield 1 reskinned into World War II. And honestly, Battlefield 1 felt like a World War II reskin of World War 1, which because you had all these fully automatic weapons. And I get they did that because they wanted to make the game more fun, but I'm just saying, like, it felt a lot more like World War II than World War 1. That's just how I see it. But the point I'm trying to make here, though, is that over the years, technology has gone huge ways forward. Like, you started off with the PlayStation 1. That's when the World War II shooter started. Compare Medal of Honor to, let's say, Call of Duty World at War. It's like a huge technological leap forward. Compare Call of Duty World at War to Call of Duty World War II. You know what I mean? There's really not. It's sure, it's graphically superior. There's definitely graphical changes, but they obviously the story wasn't that good, and people are saying, oh, that's because the story, they just didn't give a shit about the story. Maybe, but at the same time, can you really create a story that's like so new and is such like a different way of portraying World War II that hasn't been portrayed before? Like, that's what I'm saying. And the modern military shoot is another great example. There's a reason why Call of Duty has been moving towards the futuristic trend, because that was a trend, and the modern military FPS was dying in popularity. People didn't care about modern military shooters anymore, and people still do not. So when people are saying, go back to Modern Warfare, yeah, Modern Warfare will sell, but that's mostly because of nostalgic purposes, not because they want to do something innovative. So modern military shooters is another great example. Call of Duty 4 really innovated the modern military shooter, that whole subgenre of games, the modern military shooter. Call of Duty did a great job of innovating it, but after a few years, they couldn't bring anything new to the table. So that's why they went towards the futuristic trend. That's why, because they were able to bring in new things. So with Call of Duty now, people aren't complaining that Call of Duty is the same thing every year. They're kind of complaining the opposite, is that it's too different every year. You know, if you pick up Call of Duty 4 and then you decide to pop in Black Ops, it's not really too hard to adjust from one game to the other. But when you're playing Black Ops and then you pop in Black Ops 3, or even Black Ops 2 and then you pop in Black Ops 3, it's like a huge difference. But like when you pop out PUBG and play H1Z1 instead, is the difference really that noticeable? Or if you take out H1Z1 and you put in Fortnite, is the difference really that noticeable? I mean, it's the same premise for all of these games. You're popping out of a parachute, and you land into some designated area, and the bubble gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and you have to grab weapons, and, Fortnite's different because you have to build. So it's like Fortnite, it's like PUBG and Minecraft made a beautiful love child. Okay, so Fortnite is different in that aspect because the building is a huge aspect of Fortnite and that whole culture over there. But the thing is, there's really not much room for innovation anymore. Okay, all these other people are trying to hop in on Battle Royale. Call of Duty is doing that now with their Blackout mode, and it's supposed to be different because, in PUBG you can drive cars, you can drive land vehicles, but in Blackout mode you can fly air vehicles and you could drive boats in the water. Oh, okay, but what does that add to the game, really? These feel minuscule to me. These don't feel like, oh my god, this is so different and so unique that this is something that's going to last for years and years and years and people aren't going to get bored of it. People are already getting bored of it. But the reason why Fortnite hasn't lost players and keeps gaining players is because Fortnite is one of those special games that is very easy to put on all platforms. So it started off on PC, then it went to consoles, and then now it's going to mobile. Well, of course it's going to grow because mobile is the second or first largest gaming platform in the entire market, in the entire industry, is mobile. So of course the game is going to keep growing, but does that indicate that Battle Royale itself is popular, or that the game is already popular and now it's available on more platforms, and phone games in general aren't really that good in quality, and Fortnite is probably one of the best quality games you can get, and it's free. Don't forget that. It's free. This Battle Royale craze would not have been... That's another thing. Free. This whole free-to-play thing is really what's contributing to the popularity of Fortnite, because if they release Fortnite for $30 or whatever, like PUBG is right now. PUBG costs $30. It's not free to play, at least on consoles and PC. I believe it's free to play on mobile, but I might be mistaken. But here's the point I'm trying to make. If they charged money for Fortnite, and because by the time Fortnite came out, PUBG was a huge thing. PUBG was huge, but now PUBG is pretty much dead. That's because Fortnite decided to go the free-to-play model, so then PUBG lost interest among players. People went over to Fortnite because it was getting new updates regularly. This early access crap that PUBG was going through wasn't really cutting it for people. Having one map released and then not even giving updates too regularly, and it's just being a buggy, broken mess. So yeah, maybe that might be the reason why Fortnite overtook PUBG. But do you honestly think that if Fortnite cost the same as PUBG, while PUBG was already huge, people would have given Fortnite a chance as much as they did now? That's the thing with Battle Royale. It's reached its peak already. It has already reached its peak. It cannot get any bigger than it already has. All these celebrities doing live streams with Fortnite, having all just nonstop mainstream media coverage. This reminds me so much of Minecraft. It's not even funny. Like in 2010, 2011, the Minecraft craze was just as much. And people are saying this is going to be a staple of the gaming industry, is Minecraft. Minecraft is going to be around for a while. And shortly after, it died. All these Minecraft YouTubers that got famous off of Minecraft, what are they doing right now? Nothing. So all these people who are trying to get popular off of Fortnite, that's exactly what's going to happen with them. They're going to fade into obscurity once the game dies. And the game is not going to last very long. We have pretty big releases coming out in the fall. Red Dead Redemption, Battlefield, Call of Duty, all these games are going to take a portion of Fortnite's player base because they are going to have something different that's new and not a year old like Fortnite is. Because even with Black Ops 4 and Battlefield 5 probably too, is good. They're probably both copying Battle Royale. I know they already confirmed Call of Duty is, but we still don't know yet if Battlefield is. But let's say both of them do. They still have something new and unique to offer. Call of Duty with their new zombies modes that they're doing is going to, bring interest among people. The Red Dead Redemption 2's online multiplayer is going to bring in people, and et cetera, et cetera. You're going to have all these new games coming out in the fall that are going to have people become disinterested in Fortnite because, now we have these games that are new and are not a year plus old like Fortnite. As much they could update the game as much as they want, but after a while, it's like GTA. They keep updating the game, but after a while, it got dead. GTA 5 is still alive, but compared to 2014, 2015, the popularity level, you can't compare it at all. So Fortnite is going to go through the same exact thing that all the other games and all the other trends have suffered through, and you can release all the new Battle Royale games you want, so the Battle Royale genre will still technically be alive, but after a while, people even get tired of that, because at the end of the day, it's the same objective, it's the same premise, it's nothing new, it's nothing unique, and that's why your standard FPS, like Call of Duty with the team deathmatches and domination and all those other things, all of a sudden Overwatch came out in 2016 and just completely stole the popularity of those games. All the players went over to games like Overwatch and other hero shooters. And hero shooters have room for innovation, obviously, still, because Team Fortress 2, compare that to Overwatch, and it's like a huge difference. And who knows, maybe one day Overwatch will have some game will innovate even more than Overwatch and will become even more popular than Overwatch. But the problem with Fortnite and the Battle Royale genre is that it can never get any more popular than it already is. The only way to go from here is down, not up, down. And I think soon enough you will see this Battle Royale trend dying a very quick death. I think within the next 6 to 12 months, Battle Royale will be almost an afterthought. And if you don't believe me, just look at history. In the 80s and 90s, platformers were the genre that were driving the industry forward. But after a while, there really wasn't much room for innovation. You couldn't really make a platformer that no one has really seen before or played before. So the whole platformer thing died out pretty quickly when Grand Theft Auto came out and brought in something completely different, an open-world sandbox experience. And yeah, you still get open-world sandbox games, you still get platformer games, you still get World War II games, you still get military shooters in general, you still get any genre under the sun that you can think of that used to be the most popular in the entire industry. But after a while, they just faded into obscurity and got overshadowed by something else. And that's exactly what's going to happen with Fortnite. But the reason why, and I'm putting an emphasis on this, with Fortnite and the Battle Royale genre, it's going to happen much faster than with other ones. Because there's really not much else you can do with it. There really isn't. What else are you going to do? Have Thanos thing? Like, there's not much else you can do. Really, you can try to update the game as regularly as possible. You could have your porta-forts, you can have all this other stuff, but it's like the same thing with Minecraft and GTA 5. You can come up with all these updates, but after a while, the game people get tired of it. People do not want to play the same game for years and years and years and years and years, or the same genre for years and years and years and years and years. Something new and hot comes to replace it. And with Battle Royale, that's what's going to happen very quickly. Someone on my Discord server just said that, pretty much agreeing with me, saying that, yeah, the Battle Royale genre is going to die pretty quickly. This is, by the way, Gorie, who is one of my admins, and he wrote like a whole paragraph, like a whole essay actually, and I'm probably going to pin it on my server so you guys can read it for yourself. The link to my Discord server is always in the description. We always have very interesting video game discussions from a variety of topics, like exclusive games, the whole debate I had with Bullet Barry. People are still talking about exclusives. We're talking about loot boxes, paid online, PC versus console, and a whole slew of other topics. So if you're interested in having video game discussions about the video game industry, check out my Discord server. Link, as always, is in the description. So, yeah, he talks about how Paladins recently introduced a Battle Royale mode and how it's unique and how it's completely different than what we've seen before. And it's kind of like trying to be a hybrid between the hero shooter and the Battle Royale genre. But the thing is, I don't know how long that's going to last. Like, it's called Realm Royale. And the big Fortnite people are streaming it, including Ninja. It's a unique take on the idea with abilities, no ammo requirement, automatic revive after 30 seconds of being knocked down, horses you can just summon while outdoors, and a decent variety of weaponry. Not traditional FPS weaponry, but fantasy-style weaponry like Paladins usually has. Potion launcher, Stagala staff that shoots a burst of rocks, super accurate throwing axes to name a few. It also has a class system that provides boosts to certain aspects. So far, people quite like this game. It's a breath of fresh air. The issue, in my mind, isn't that it's a fad that will die out, but many people aren't innovating with the idea enough to that every Battle Royale is just like every other Battle Royale, give and take a few things. While the trend won't last forever, Realm Royale may indeed lengthen its lifespan if it really lifts off. And that's the contingency, if it really lifts off, if it's something that people like. Again, innovation doesn't mean that it's going to translate into success. Lawbreakers was something we've never seen before. It was a completely unique take on the hero shooter genre. It was a complete flop. So we'll have to wait and see if this is a huge success. It's PC only, so you really can't tell how popular this is going to be in the future. So, I don't know. We'll see. It's very interesting, though, that some of them are trying to innovate the Battle Royale, but I don't know. At the same time, it's like still, it's the same objective. Go out and survive, and it's like the thing about traditional FPSs and why I think they lasted longer than Battle Royale ever will is because they have some purpose to it. Like, you die, but you respawn, and you have to try to get that kill streak, and you die, but you can still try again in the game. When you die in the Battle Royale, that's game over. Like, you have to like just start a new game, and that's it. And also, progression means nothing in these types of games because everyone's kind of supposed to be on a level footing, right? So progression really means nothing at all, like it does in a game like Call of Duty or other traditional FPS games or shooters, what have you. Yeah, I still not convinced that this is going to be a lasting thing that's going to have a significant impact on the gaming industry and not just be a fluke trend that will die pretty soon. And all of these Fortnite streamers are going to be scrambling very soon as to what the hell they're going to do next. Because this is not going to last very long. The Battle Royale genre in general is not going to last very long, mark my words. So, I mean, this might be innovative, but will it catch on with people? Is it going to be too fantastical for some people to take it seriously? I mean, maybe not because Fortnite is like all cartoony, but like it's just crazy. Like Radical Heights was like supposed to be different, but it died pretty quickly. So I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see, I guess. But I'm just not entirely convinced. Because keep in mind, Battle Royales existed for years. This isn't new. H1Z1 came out years ago. But people didn't give it any attention. And then PUBG came along completely change the game, but I don't think you could change the game that much more than they already have. Really, I don't think there's much room for innovation anymore. So I'm just making the official prediction right now. The next 6 to 12 months, Battle Royale will be faded into complete obscurity, and it will not. You will not have celebrities playing Fortnite in a year's time. I can guarantee you that.